Bro, what the hell is going on in the absolute universe? Everything I have seen from this world is straight doom and despair, which I guess makes sense considering it's Darkseid's creation or something like that. Let's start off with the 6'9", 421-pound behemoth known as Absolute Batman. Now the difference between him and his regular counterpart is that he has his parents. What? Well, his mom at least. This gotta be the biggest rewrite in comic history. Oh nah. He's also broke and works a construction job while fighting criminals. Imagine getting your ass beat by Bane just to clock in the next morning. I'd be sick. And construction ain't no joke either. I pray he not experiencing the scorching heat I've been going through this summer. Now I want to highlight some of these criminals that he's fighting. Now again, this man is 6'9", 421 pounds, 7 foot in the back suit. Yet this is how bad Bane towers him. Nigga, that is not Bane, that is Z Broly. That is abomination. That cannot be the Bane I know. Even worse, this is with no venom at all, which means this shit is somehow natural. Yeah, draft his ass to the Gotham League immediately. So no one's surprised Bane was cooking his ass. Had him in a state of fear I ain't never seen before. Nah, being a grown man getting grabbed like this gotta shatter your ego game. He was even talking crazy while doing it. Nigga did the little Tali move on his arm and was like, focus. You have another right arm. Then he punched him to the ground, and while Batman was struggling, he told him, look at me up here. That's right, you still got your legs. Nah, this nigga talking heavy right now. Meanwhile, Batman is going through it. Dude went for a kick, blocked, then got his shit rocked to oblivion, had blood splattering everywhere. Batman says he's juiced up just for Bane to tell him he hasn't even used the venom. Then powers up and we get the humiliating panel. And look at this abomination form of Bane. Brother, let me zoom in on his head so you know what is what. That cannot be a comfortable living condition. Now let's get into Mr. Freeze. What is that? That is a glacier demon. That is a creepypasta. That is a Enderman. That is not Mr. Freeze. That is a skinwalker if anything. I guess I'll throw in this nigga, and after reading 1,000 comments saying the same thing, this is Absolute Black Mask. Now I can't really say much about this skull with the bowling ball on his head because quite frankly I don't know, bro.
Who the fuck is this nigga, bro?
I'm just not tapped in with DC for real like how I ain't with Marvel, so this nigga is irrelevant to me entirely. Moving along, we got this hideous creature right here which I mistook for Poison Ivy, but it's actually one of her zombies. Apparently, she is the entire ecosystem, which if true is insane, but as long as she's goonable, I'ma be happy. Now I want you to feast your eyes on Godzilla, I meant Killer Croc. So for context, Bruce goes into this lab, walks past the clay biome which is a mountain of faces, and after getting locked into this room, he bodies these guards so he can escape. And you are not convincing me that he didn't catch a body in this room. He gets violated by Bane some more. Just look at him getting kneed and hit with the left, but he eventually runs into Killer Croc. Why does bro have teeth going all the way into his armpits? That is disgusting. But him and Bruce fuck with each other, so he becomes a companion of Batman so they can defeat Bane. How we went from Crypto to a Komodo dragon on steroids, bro, this shit make no sense. I haven't even mentioned Joker, who absorbs the life of babies so he can keep himself alive. I don't know what's worse, him wearing these living children as a fit or the fact that this might be the calmest thing Joker has done.
Do you know how much people commit suicide because of you?
Good.
I genuinely wouldn't be surprised if this motherfucker has blown up an orphanage for shits and giggles. So we all know this guy, right? Ra's al Ghul, one of Batman's greatest villains? What if I told you he's a Superman villain in this universe? Look at the way he violated this dude right here. What is up with these regular sized dudes being turned into brutes in this universe? Just look at him compared to bro, that is wicked. Also, he's a CEO for a Lazarus company or whatever in this universe, so I guess he's replacing Lex Luthor. But Superman has the most terrifying villain in this universe so far, that being Absolute Brainiac. His introduction alone is crazy because we see these soldiers pull up to this facility with the goal of shutting down the Brainiac AI. But when they get there, one of the dudes get burned alive, and when the soldiers question what happened to bro, Brainiac tells him that he shrunk his skin. Nigga, what? Also, these dudes don't speak and instead use their thoughts to communicate, which means bro compromised their brains. We see one of the soldiers puking up his own bones while the other is having his muscles removed. The last dude tries to dip, but he gets hit with a beam that expands his hand, and we see this hideous creature in all of his glory.
What is that?
I genuinely don't even know what to say about bro. Like I want to make a joke, but I'm too busy trying to figure out what I'm looking at. This nigga looks like the monsters from Jeepers Creeper if he was a Namekian. This genuinely doesn't look like a Superman villain, but instead a horror character. Yeah, Superman might be cooked because he's on the hunt for bro, and look at this panel right here. This is actually terrifying, like no bullshit. If I woke up in the middle of the night and I saw this, I'd shit myself on sight. I'm genuinely disturbed looking at this. What artist at DC cooked up this creature? Because I need to have a word with them. Now, if you're familiar with the Flash, then you might know Heatwave. You know, a regular dude with the heat gun. Yeah, forget that, he's a molten lava man or whatever you want to call him in this universe, and he was low-key giving Wally the work, I can't lie. And if this is Heatwave, what would Deathstorm look like? You know what, I'm getting too ahead of myself, let me stop asking questions. Also, DC announced a one-shot teasing that these villains are going to team up, so the Justice League might be cooked, but I haven't really seen any other crazy villains for characters like Wonder Woman or Green Lantern. If I'm being honest though, the worst villains are the ones we haven't even seen yet. Just imagine what Absolute Scarecrow is gonna be. Batman already fighting Souls bosses, but they finna make Scarecrow Cthulhu or some shit. I genuinely wouldn't be surprised if Scarecrow was the devil in this world. They gon' fuck around and say screw the fear toxin and just make bro have psychic abilities, which would be insane. Then we got niggas like Doomsday and Solomon Grundy, and after seeing the size difference of Bane, I don't even want to know what they're gonna look like. Then we got motherfuckers like Man-Bat who might just be King Ghidorah. The man I'm most excited to see, however, is the biggest hater in fiction, Absolute Reverse Flash. Imagine his already insane hating abilities but in the mind of Darkseid. Yeah, Wally is cooked. That's all I have for today though. Just wanted to make a quick video, but if this does well, I might get in the comments and start covering more of my videos. Either way, I hope you enjoy it. Peace.